What's up, guys? ArtistVersion1 here, and welcome back to another edition of the Three-Way Dance Wrestling Podcast. And you can't have a three-way dance unless there's three of us, so fuck the show, because there's not three of us. I did that same joke when it was me and Nick. But no, Nick is not with us tonight. He is on his second week of vacation, so joining me as always is Shelby, a.k.a. Shubs.
Feeling much better.
I know, yeah, we were both sick last week. We were going to do this show last week. We were going to review WrestleMania 2, which we are still doing tonight. But I came down with COVID, and I was still going. Like Thursday, I was like, fuck it, we're still doing this.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, I am not going to miss this. Fuck it, we're doing it. And then Shubs was just like, you know what? I still feel like ass. Do I have to do it? And I was one step away from like, the fuck you do. You know, but I was just like, no, fine, fuck it, take the night off.
I'm a little bitch when I'm sick. I'm just like, I don't want to talk to anybody. I just want to like curl up and die.
I had my curl up and die day, so like Thursday I was kind of like, you know, I kind of had like a cough still and everything, so I was just like, because you were just sick, I had COVID.
Yeah.
You know, so I was just like, fuck it, I'm still going, because like for those of you listening at home, our episode 100, which you know, spoiler alert right now, we are going to do that episode live. You will hear Nick and Shubs, but you will see me. It was going to land on May 18th, so I was like, what a perfect fucking opportunity to do See No Evil since May 19th and all that shit. But thanks, you know, we missed last week, so there went that fucking golden opportunity. I think we could still do it, but it just wouldn't be our big 100th episode, you know. So I was thinking of a way, like, can I tell him no without sounding like a dick? Like, are you really that sick? I have COVID and I'm about to do it. Like, come on, you know? Like, so I was just like, fuck it, let him take the night off.
Yeah, I'm a bitch when I'm sick. I would have been like just unresponsive the whole show anyway. It just wouldn't have been good.
I'd be like Paul Orndorff versus Paul Morocco. You'd be like, fuck this match next.
Yeah. Pretty much, yeah.
I'm like Savage and Steel, fuck this match next.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, so like I said, we are going to be reviewing WrestleMania 2, and spoiler alert, next week we will be reviewing WrestleMania 11, which I think the main event gets a bad rap, but, you know, we'll talk about that when we get there.
Are we doing WrestleMania 11 next week? Because Nick's back next week, isn't he?
Well, that's Nick's problem.
I don't know if he has access to it.
Well, Nick better figure the shit out.
I guess we'll talk to him.
I
mean, I'm game.
You should have thought about that before you took last week off.
Hey, I mean, again, that's not my problem, I suppose, but...
I almost did it by myself. There was like an inkling of just like, you know, I could just do it by my fucking self. But then I'm just like, it would be like the shortest fucking episode ever.
Yeah.
It'd just be like, welcome to the show. Let's get into the review. Because, like, I can't do eBay by myself. I can't do 3-word dance by myself. You know? So I go right to the review. Then afterwards, it'd be like, okay, well, that was a review. Here's the vintage pick of the week. See you later.
Yeah,
you know?
Pretty much.
You know? So, I don't know. Yeah, we'll discuss it with him. We'll see. But that is the plan for next week, I should say, is WrestleMania 11. If there is something else, you'll see it. Anyway, so of course we're gonna play 3-word dance. It came from eBay. No after game tonight. We're gonna skip that. We do have a Shelby of all people has a fact of the week this week, and pretty soon Shelby will have his own segment, which is going to be this day in wrestling history. I don't know if he has that tonight, but
no, I didn't know we were actually doing that.
I told you could do it.
I guess I just never really thought that it was actually happening. Anyways, okay.
Would you think I just said yes just for like, yeah, okay, Shelby, you can do it, buddy?
I kind of forgot you said yes, to be honest with you.
I did. You're just like, what if I did like this day in wrestling history? I was like, good, go. Like, fuck.
Oh, that was the Saturday night. Okay, that explains everything.
You were drunk, weren't you?
No. I might have been at a punk show.
Yeah. A punk rock show or a CM Punk show?
Yes.
Okay. And of course, we got some news again here. We got a couple more news stories since we did miss 2 weeks. I stopped looking at news stories like once I got to like, I don't know, like 8 days back, because I was like, that's it. If I keep finding shit, we're just gonna fucking be here for a while. So let's talk about this one first. I don't think you're really gonna have much to say about this one, but Raw 30th anniversary was back in January.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the stories coming out of Raw 30 was there was 2 names advertised that
Mm-hmm.
were supposed to be on the show, and suspicious by their absence, they were not on the show. And apparently, some stories came out that they didn't like, that certain names were not going to be mentioned or not allowed to be mentioned. And apparently, this led to Nikki and Brie Bella's exit from WWE. They were no longer under, their Legends contract. They have changed their names on social media from Bella back to their, I guess, original or their real last name of Garcia. but they kept the Nikki and Brie name, which I found weird because their real names are Nicole and Brianna.
Yeah.
So, any thoughts on the Bella Twins, WWE Hall of Famer Bella Twins?
I think they feel like they're worth more than they actually are. They were around in a time where like the Divas division was the Divas division and not the women's division.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times they credit themselves as like being pioneers of the women's division, and I don't think that that's necessarily right. I mean, sucks for them, but hey, I'm not
Yeah,
gonna
because
miss
don't get
them.
me wrong, I like the Bella Twins and everything, but like when it comes to like name and I don't mean this derogatorily, but like name a great Bella match.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like
You
and
know?
you really can't. Like the whole gimmick was that they were twins, and like especially in the beginning. I remember I was still watching when they first started their career, and it was kind of intriguing seeing like one of them pop up from under the ring and go in and get the quick pin. It was kind of interesting then, but
Yeah.
that was like their one, that they were like one trick ponies in that sense. Like they couldn't really work. They weren't really good at wrestling in general.
Mhm.
They were, calendar models basically that were hired by Laurinaitis. So I mean,
And that was like the thing back then. Like, okay, you're a
exactly,
model,
yeah,
you're a sports model. All right, we can teach you to do a couple holds and some moves here and there, and bam,
yeah, yeah, exactly. Like they were part of the end of that era. So
And
I
like
don't.
and that was the model they kept for a while. Is that they kept trying to make another Trish Stratus, and they just couldn't. They couldn't do
Yeah,
it. You
yeah.
know.
Nobody had that like natural talent that she had. You know,
Yeah, and again, I'm not knocking the Bella Twins. I mean, they did get better.
they did. Sure.
They did cross over into the women's division. I mean, I think Nikki Bella did have a decent match. I won't say a great match. She did have a decent match with Ronda Rousey at Evolution.
Mm.
A very unneeded match. And Brie Bella's had a couple standout matches, but like overvalue. I never thought of it like that, as them overvaluing themselves. But I think they took like a Sasha Banks approach to it. They're just like, they chose their sword to fall on, so to speak. They're like, okay, we're not going to come if we can't talk about people who like Sasha Banks and Naomi who paved the way and shit like that. Fuck it, we're out.
And that's fair. I mean, that's fair. I understand that, but I don't think that they're worth as much as they think they are. And I know they probably have a huge following after their reality TV series, but
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's just a different ball game for me. That's not something I care about.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Stupid twats. Hey, speaking of twats, Saraya actually did a promo on Dynamite a couple weeks back where she actually used the word twat. Now, why I'm bringing this up is because here's some phrases that have been thrown out on Dynamite. Um, MJF once said, "Fire me, you fucking mark."
Yeah,
I think cowboy shit is another one, and this is
yeah.
basic cable. Um, and I'm pretty damn sure that neither one of them got fined for that. Maybe they have, and we don't know about it. But Saraya says the word twat on live television, and she legitimately, according to her and Tony Khan, she was fined for it. I think that's a double standard.
I mean, to me, fucking shit. They're like, they're not really derogatory towards a person. They're like shit's an actual thing, I guess. I mean, it's
Yeah.
the kind of
And I guess
this,
fuck could be a verb depending on how you look at it.
yeah,
No,
like
yeah,
they're
verb. Yeah.
You know, I think like words, and I don't know necessarily about twat, but I could see like words like faggot or retard or something like that
Mhm.
garnering more of a fine than fuck or shit.
Mhm.
Um, but I mean, I guess people would probably get offended by the word twat too. The words just, to me, words are words, you know, like if you get offended by a word, like you must have it pretty shitty in your life to get offended by a word that somebody says on television.
Mhm.
You know, so I mean, should she have been fined? I don't know. I guess it's really up to the network if they're going to allow those kind of
Well, that's
words
what
to
I'm
be
saying.
said.
If like TBS is okay with like an occasional fuck or a shit coming out, then they should be okay with an occasional twat coming out.
Yeah.
The
I mean,
word, not the actual twat. I should specify that.
I mean, it's 2023, right? Like, I don't know. Are these words really that important anymore?
I
You
mean,
know, like, can we just get over it? Can we just, you know, use fucking
I
shit and
just,
twat
yeah, exactly.
whatever?
That's what I'm saying. Either allow all words,
Yeah.
like she said
Yeah.
twat. If MJF said "fire me, you fucking Mark," and didn't get reprehended for it, then she should.
Although I think part of that was part of the promo too.
I know, but
But
still, you can't
Moxley
say
gets away with saying fuck on TV like every week.
exactly. You know, and
Yeah.
that's in some places, me, I use fuck as a comma. You know,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
like if they can't get fined for saying that, then I don't think Saraya should get fined for saying. I don't know. I just wanted to bring that
If your
up.
children are watching this show and they can't comprehend where they can and can't use these words, they probably shouldn't be watching this show and you should be parenting them better.
There you go.
Bam.
Um,
To the guy who doesn't have a kid.
there you go. Yeah. Yeah. Although that is again, I just said I use fuck as a comma, but I am clean around the kid.
Oh yeah, and I
So,
probably would be around mine too, but then like I wouldn't throw on a television show where people are like openly bleeding and beating the crap out of each other to like a 5-year-old. I probably
I
wouldn't
mean,
show them that. Yeah, no.
I'm like, kid, you're gonna watch this.
Well, I mean, you know, there are
This is
some matches I'd probably
this is
put
my
on, but
life, kid. Let's go.
this is my life.
But hey, speaking of blood and such like that, GCW, Game Changer Wrestling, they're in
Uh,
the news because something interesting's happened there. Nick Gage, who is, popular for, blood and guts and all that good stuff, all the stuff that Jim Cornette loves.
uh,
Um, apparently there is a new world champion. Have you heard who the new world champion is?
is it Nick Gage?
It is no, considering that he was the world champion.
Oh, okay.
Nick
I don't
Gage
keep
was their world champion, but there is a new GCW world champion, and it is a first ever type of champion, and it is Masha Slamovich.
Huh? Who's that?
She is a Russian wrestler.
Oh,
Yes, apparently she choked out Nick Gage in the middle of the ring to become the GCW champion. And we're just going to go ahead and skip right over this story because I can tell by your question that you have no idea who the fuck this is and have no
no.
thoughts on it whatsoever. So
Well,
we'll move
okay,
on.
so I have some questions though.
Okay.
Is this actually a woman?
Yes.
Okay, so they're not the first company to do this then. Because
Well, it's
Impact
first
did.
time in their company.
First time in their company. Doesn't surprise me too much, to be honest with you. I'm
That's why
surprised
it's
it took
called
this
Game
long.
Changer Wrestling, baby. It's uncensored, baby.
It's uncensored, all right. Is that the one where is that the company that had the guy wrestling? Oh fuck. There was a Moxley match Jim Cornette was talking about. Oh, how did that go? Oh, the guy started jerking off. That's what it was.
What the
I can't
hell?
remember. Yeah, I can't remember the guy's name, and I want to say it's a GCW match, but like Moxley had him in a headlock or something, and the fucking guy just started like jerking off in the ring.
Moving on.
Okay.
I don't want to focus on that anymore.
Yeah, fair enough.
But it is WrestleMania season, hence why we're reviewing WrestleMania 2 and possibly WrestleMania 11 next week.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks like somebody might be missing WrestleMania this year. And that person is I don't know what to think about this. I'm curious what your thoughts is. But there are conflicting stories about this person. I've heard 3 different versions of it. One
Mm.
version is the person has walked out on creative meetings. I've heard that he's injured. and I've heard that he is having creative difficulties, whatever the fuck that one means. Bray Wyatt in danger of missing WrestleMania this year.
I think it's a combination of all three. And to be honest with you, from what I've seen of him, and I think I only saw the one match, and I've seen like a couple of promos on YouTube. Yeah, I was gonna say that's okay. So it is like okay. I've seen like a couple of promos here and there, and like from what I've heard, I'm not upset that he's gonna miss. I really wish he would just go back to being a fucking cult leader. Like that was honestly such a great gimmick.
This gimmick that he's doing can work, but the problem is when you wrestle once every fiscal fucking year, it's hard for me to fucking care.
That is a fair point. However, any of his promos, he never says anything. He never has a point. It never goes anywhere.
That's fair
and
too.
The match at the Royal Rumble with fucking LA Knight, like you fucking hate it. Yeah. Yeah. Like what the fuck was that? What the fuck is any of this?
Was stupid. All we did was wrestle in black lights, and that's not an insult. That's just a fact of life. Yeah.
Yeah. Like what is Bray Wyatt? Who is Bray Wyatt? What is he all about?
I don't know.
Nobody fucking knows. That's the problem. He's been back.
Bray Wyatt knows.
I don't even think he knows, to be honest with you. I really
He's figuring it out as he goes along.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why his promos don't make any sense. He's been back for, oh, fuck, what's it, 4 or 5? It hasn't been 6 months.
I don't even know. It feels like a fucking year, but when we reviewed Royal Rumble, when I was like, all right, he's been back since June, and you guys were like, October. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
That can't be right. You're like, no, October. I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah. It's fucking incredible that, like, just nothing has happened with him. And some of his promos go on for like 10 or 15 minutes. He just says fucking nothing. I don't know. At this point, I kind of think The Fiend was better. And I'm not even sure if I'm a big fan of The Fiend anymore either.
The Fiend was definitely way better than this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because now they're just like they're really retreading shit now. It's just like The Fiend and Dark Bliss. Now they got Uncle Howdy, and now they're trying to do Dark Bliss again. But now, side note, she's recovering from skin cancer apparently.
Oh shit.
Yeah, you didn't hear about that? That's why she's been off TV. Apparently, she found like a mark on like her cheek or something, and they went and looked at it. And apparently, what was it called? Something carcinoma. And it was skin cancer, so she had that removed.
Oh damn.
Yeah, so she's recovering from that. But looks like the Bray Wyatt Bobby Lashley match that it looked like they were building to may be off the table, but they apparently have a backup plan for Lashley. I didn't click on the story though, so I forgot who they have him on. But Brian Cage apparently wants Lashley at Mania, which, you know what? I'd be down for that.
That interests me.
If for some reason Triple H is just like, you know what, fuck it, Cage and Lashley at Mania, fuck, I'm game. No pun intended to Triple H.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Cage's work in AEW, but I mean, if they could slow him down a little bit, he's an impressive specimen. Like he's just a jacked man, and I think he could probably be something in WWE where like they can kind of tell him, hey, slow down, focus on this, focus on that, stop doing this, only do this when it means something, kind of thing. Because like his AEW stuff, the match he had with Paige at that one pay-per-view was just fucking nuts.
Would you say that he's more like a slow down and listen type of person?
I think he needs to.
God damn it, Cornette. I was like, wait a minute, this sounds awfully familiar.
Yeah. That, and to be fair, I have very little inner working wrestling knowledge when it comes to Jim Cornette, but like compared to Jim Cornette, obviously, but I mean, you see like, the guy.
This, I was like, wait a minute, this sounds really familiar.
You see the guy, you see the way that he works, and it's like everything has to be a million miles a minute, and it's like just slow down, focus.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of WrestleMania, a few months back, we mentioned that there was possibly going to be, there was possibly going to be some brand interaction at WrestleMania this year. We didn't quite know who it was going to be, but now we know who one of the brand partners is going to be, and it could possibly lead to a match at WrestleMania. Apparently, they want to start doing more brand integration matches. Do you know who the brand is?
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
A couple months ago, after the Pitch Black match.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
Okay,
No,
so
go on. I don't know the brand, though.
okay, Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Okay, we did talk about this at one point.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
yes, I do remember.
That is possibly going to be. There might be. It's not confirmed, but they are in association with WWE at this point, and there could be a Cinnamon Toast Crunch type of match at WrestleMania. Thoughts?
All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna grab all the women that aren't doing anything at WrestleMania, and we're gonna grab big bowl and pour in some Cinnamon Toast Crunch and some milk. There you go.
Why does it got to be the women?
I don't know. Go back to like 20 years ago.
That's sexist. Let's do the men instead.
Oh God. Fucking Otis and like fucking.
Oh
Braun.
yeah.
God damn.
6-man tag match. We'll do the OC since they've been pushing that match. Like Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson, and I don't know, fucking we'll throw in Akira Tozawa since sometimes they're associated versus the Maximum Male Models and Otis.
Oh God.
The Cinnamon Crunch Toast match.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch match?
Yeah. There you go.
Oh man, what if they had those WrestleMania showcase matches in a Cinnamon Toast Crunch bowl?
Both of them?
Yeah.
Okay. That's fair. Go with that. I'll settle for that. And with WrestleMania season around the corner, you can't have WrestleMania season unless there's, Hall of Fame, the WWE Hall of Fame, and some names have been added. Plus, something else is being possibly planned for it. The first thing being possibly planned for it, a referee is possibly might be inducted into it. Thoughts on the referee going in?
Interesting.
Nick was Nick had a lot of thoughts on this. I was like, if I get one more message about this fucking referee going in, I'm like, what the fuck, Nick? I'm trying to
work. I mean, I guess it's about time. I don't know. Like, to be fair, their Hall of Fame really doesn't fucking mean anything. A lot of the names in there never.
Say that. I don't understand that.
A lot of the people that are in, well, I shouldn't even say a lot, but there are names in there that haven't even worked for them. It's like they're claiming that they are professional wrestling, which isn't true. But I guess
I can see your point now because one of the names we're about to talk about. Well, two of the names we're about to talk about.
Yeah.
Never really WWE.
I mean, you could even say most Hall of Fames, like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, has fucking Eminem in it. Eminem's not a rock and roll guy, Yeah. There's many other names in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame that don't really make sense.
Well, I mean, that could just be the Music Hall of Fame.
Well, then call it the fucking Music Hall of Fame. I don't know. Maybe I'm picking at straws, but referee. I mean, yeah, it makes sense. I would think that if they did, the first one would be Earl Hebner, no?
See, I would think that, but given how his release came from WWE, I don't think they're gonna give him that.
So, like, who would it be then? Trying to think of who the fucking WCW one was.
Nick Patrick.
Nick Patrick.
I mean, if you don't go with Earl Hebner, the only one I could really think of that could go next is Charles Robinson.
Oh, what about
possibly Mike Chioda?
Yeah, Mike Chioda was the one I was gonna say. I mean, if you look at moments, right? He has the beatboxing moment with John Cena. Just the way that he like fucking counts during like fucking last man standing matches and shit is fucking hilarious. I don't know. I always liked Mike Chioda. Nothing wrong with Little Nate, but I mean,
and,
Little Nate didn't do a whole lot, I don't think.
Oh, I think he's done a lot. He had that epic run at WrestleMania 24, plus his WCW shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think he's done. And plus, on the other side of the coin, we have the Great Muta. entering the Royal Rumble, which it was rumored that he was going to be in the Rumble this year. That was going to be the trade-off for Shinsuke going to, what was it, Noah?
Oh, fuck, I forgot about that.
Yeah. But as we saw, Muta was not in the Royal Rumble, which would have been fucking dope as shit.
Yeah.
I love that.
Even if
But
he was only in there for a couple minutes.
exactly, you know.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. You know, this is one that, to your point, there's like Muta's never wrestled in the WWE before, and this is my, you know, my very poetic response to that, and that is, it's the fucking Great Muta. Like, fuck, dude. Like, it's the Great Muta, man. Look up some Great Muta matches, and like, don't look at the. I won't say he was terrible in WCW, but like, fucking look up Great Muta and Sting, and like
Flair
and shit like that, and fucking fuck whatever company he was in. Like, it's a great fucking Muta, man.
I mean, if you take away the fact that he never worked for WWE, yes, I mean, he definitely deserves some form of Hall of Fame induction. Yeah. He had a great career, was a great talent. Got fucked over at Starrcade 92, I think it was, where he got pinned 3 times in one night.
Oh, isn't that when they did like that weird like
tag team fucking
turmoil or some shit?
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah.
Jim Cornette said the only reason that he took 3 falls is because he couldn't speak English, so he couldn't say no. They're like, yeah, we'll just do Muta. Okay.
See, I always wonder how, like, you know, when a wrestler struggles with English, like, how do you call matches and shit like that with a guy like that?
I'm not sure, because I mean, back in their day, right? They didn't really, like, no other than like Savage and Steamboat, and maybe there were a couple other examples, but they didn't really call it in the back and go out there and do it. They called it all in the ring.
Well, even then.
Yeah. I think,
like, you can't whisper to Muta like fucking like arm drag, and then he's like, huh?
I think a lot of it's like
Japanese, you know.
I think a lot of it too, and like from what I've kind of gathered, is sometimes it wasn't verbal. Sometimes it's just like, you know, you tap something or you do this or you do that. And I mean, when you wrestle somebody so many times, you start to get into a flow of things, and you just know
that I can understand. Yeah, because CM Punk once said that he could put on his gear and go have a match with Rey Mysterio and not say a single word to him.
Yeah, and I think that's, you know, Flair and Steamboat, that fucking hour-long match. You know, I'm assuming that they probably do the same thing. They probably didn't even see each other all day and then just went out there and fucking did it. Mm-hmm. You know, so it's just different time. But yeah, that's one of those things that, like, you and I, because we've never been in the ring and never been in that scenario, will never comprehend.
But I'm just curious, like, you know, you go to Muta and you whisper like arm drag, you know, like bitch, he speaks Japanese.
Maybe he knows wrestling moves.
Yeah, maybe, you know. And the other name going into the Hall of Fame is one that I believe is way long overdue, even though it is a celebrity wing, and it's bad enough that people frown upon the WWE Hall of Fame as is, but they frown even more on the celebrity wing, but I don't mind it too much. Andy Kaufman, finally getting his time in the sun. And again, even though he never wrestled for the WWE, he originally wanted that storyline he did to be in the at the time, WWF, but Vince McMahon Sr. said, nah, doesn't work for me, brother. So he took it to Memphis, where Jerry Lawler fucking loved it, and said, let's roll with it. And the rest, as they say, is history. And that's another one I say. Kaufman never wrestled in WWE. I'm like, go look at that fucking storyline and just, like, tell me he doesn't fucking belong. I mean, yeah, he was a Hollywood actor and not really a stand-up comedian, but a performance artist. And tell me, like, you know, you can have your fucking Floyd Mayweathers and Bad Bunnies. Bad Bunny did a tremendous job. Don't get me wrong, but like Andy Kaufman, really, you want to talk about celebrities who really paved the way for fucking, you know, Hollywood crossovers? Kaufman did it.
He is the measuring stick. And out of all the celebrity inductions I think they've ever done, he might be the most deserving of it. just because
Fair.
of what he did with it. I mean, the fact that he fucking laid in the hospital and tried to
Yep.
trick the doctors into thinking that he was still beat up, or however that went. Did you watch the Tales from the
I
Territories?
didn't watch the Tales from the Territory, but I know a lot about this Kaufman. And
I learned a
Lawler.
lot from that show in itself, and I didn't even realize that he had that many matches. And again, they were all against women,
Oh yeah.
but I mean, I didn't realize that he had that many matches in fucking Memphis. That's fucking insane.
He had like a whole like year storyline and shit, and he was gonna do more, but that's when he started getting the lung cancer and everything, and he had to leave.
Yeah, I think they said he left, and like a month later he died or something. It wasn't long. But yeah, it's a shame that it happened. Obviously, not just because somebody died, but because of what could have been. You know, maybe he would have even had an actual wrestling career. Who the hell knows?
Yeah.
But no, it's sad. And the real question is who inducts him. You know, and I'm still hoping that Jerry Lawler is good enough and well enough to do the induction, because I think that makes the most sense of anybody.
It makes the most sense. And if for some reason Lawler's not well enough, well, I think if Lawler's not well enough, at least like, you know, it'd be different, but film a video, send it in.
Yeah. Well, there's no reason he couldn't do that, right?
You know, I know it'd be different than the norm, you know, but the last few years of the Hall of Fame have been different from the norm.
Yeah.
Might as well fucking, you know, throw shit against the wall and see if it'll stick at this point. But yeah, I have said ever since they've done the celebrity wing, I mean, there's been 3 people that I think have always been that should be in the celebrity wing, and that's been David Arquette, Dennis Rodman, Andy Kaufman.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I'm ecstatic as hell that Kaufman is finally going in, because like go back and look at any of that shit he did. I mean, the promos he did against Lawler. I mean, like, you want to wrestle me? You want to wrestle me, Memphis style, Mr. Lawler? Let me just the way. Oh God, he was so good.
The was it the Tonight Show?
Yeah. Oh no.
Oh fucking hell.
The Late Show.
The Late Show. Oh my God, that was fucking gold. Lawler thought he was gonna get fucking arrested that night.
Yeah. You know why, Lawler? Because you're trash. That's all you are, is just Memphis trash, and just smack the fucking taste out of it. God, it's so good. If anybody here listening is just like, who the fuck is Andy Kaufman? Don't know what he is. You don't have to worry about his Hollywood shit. You don't have to watch Taxi. You don't have to watch Heartbeeps, which I don't think anybody wants to watch Heartbeeps. It's an okay movie. It's not great.
Right.
You don't have to watch any of that bullshit. Just watch the shit he did with Lawler. Or like Shelby said, watch the Tales from the Territories on Lawler and Kaufman.
If you're not going to watch any of the others, watch that one.
Yeah, I was about to say, I haven't watched it, but I'm pretty sure it's filled with a lot of great information. And I can't remember there what was the name of it? There was a Comedy Central special that circulated back then called I want to say it's called Andy Kaufman, I'm from Hollywood. They kind of go into the Lawler and Kaufman stuff pretty well. That's where I learned a lot of stuff from too. So yeah, Kaufman in the Hall of Fame there. And finally, the last bit of news here, which I'm sure Shelby's gonna love to talk about. There's a free agent on the market, and Tony Khan's interested in picking him up. Oh. Goldberg. Tony Khan's interested in bringing Goldberg into AEW, which, you know, I was thinking about this as I was writing it down. And that is, I always read these stories where it's just like, Tony Khan interested in bringing Goldberg to AEW. And I'm just like, what does Goldberg think? Does anybody give a fuck what Goldberg has to think?
No, nobody does.
It's nobody like Tony Khan interested in bringing Goldberg, but nobody's just like, well, what does Goldberg think?
Yeah. Yeah.
How does Goldberg feel about maybe coming to AEW?
So did he actually, like, I read what Nick posted or whatever, that it was interesting that Goldberg was a free agent, but did Tony Khan actually say, I want to get Goldberg?
I don't think he said I want to get
Goldberg. So I mean,
well, I don't know. Fuck, do we need Goldberg in AEW?
No, and I don't even think.
Listen, Goldberg... it's nice that Sting's there and we get a little Sting match, and they let Sting get some exercise every now and then. You know, they let Sting jump off of something big to make him feel like he's a kid again and shit. You know, but like all the rest of the legends they hired, they really fucking don't do anything with it. Really, I mean, like Mark Henry, I'm at this point, I'm like, why is he even there?
it's almost like WCW again, where it's like they're hired to, or TNA rather, I think would be a better example, where they're hired to just take a vacation, rest up. Like here you go.
You know,
I don't see it happening. I really don't, and I'm gonna be fucking laughing if it doesn't happen by Double or Nothing, but it does happen afterwards. Because I
Nick
don't know.
and Shelby have a side bet going on
Yeah,
just for the people at home, which
I'll
is
be
why I
3 for
brought it
3
up.
at this point.
Yeah. All right, so that was the news this week. Now we're going to move on to our games we like to play here. It came from eBay, and the 3-word dance. And since Nick is not here, we modify the rules for It Came from eBay, and I'll get that in just a second. Now,
So that means I'm gonna go for 3.
That's not true because Nick's gone 0 for 3 before here. So the modified rules for It Came from eBay here, Shelby, because I don't think you've ever played the modified version, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't think so either.
So what the modified version is, I'm going to give you the 3 items like usual here. All right.
Mm-hmm.
The object is for you to find the most expensive price. But if for some reason you land on the least expensive item, Nick will get a point.
Mm-hmm.
If you land on the one that's in the middle of the 3 items, nobody gets a point.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? All right. So your first 3 items is going to be, let's go with, okay. It is a WCW Buff Bagwell backpack lock. This was a lock that was for your backpack. You lock it so nobody could break into your book bag and all that good shit. And it's branded with Buff Bagwell's face, which, okay.
That's scary.
I know, of all people to put on there, Or is it the 3 WCW Little Caesars? Y'all have Little Caesars up there, right?
Yeah.
3 WCW Little Caesars lenticular trading cards that feature Hulk Hogan, DDP, and Goldberg. Or, we mentioned this one last week. I'll do a different one. Is it 12? Count them, 12 brand new, still on the little cardboard box that you would get them at the store, 1999 Diamond Dallas Page keychains. Which one of these 3 are going for the highest price on eBay? Is it the Buff Bagwell lock, the lenticular cards, or the Diamond Dallas Page keychains?
Now, if you ever noticed us play this before, Nick's usually the first to answer.
Yeah.
Because I'm usually waiting to see what he chooses. Ooh, fuck.
I never noticed that.
No, you didn't?
No, not till
Almost every time. These are all very, like, fucking small items, too.
Yeah, they're very fucking niche items here.
Yeah. You know what? I'm thinking just because it's a little bit more niche, I'm gonna go with the trading cards.
Points. Shelby.
Yes.
Because those 3 lenticular Little Caesars cards are going for the price of $17.
Wow, and they're the highest.
Yeah, they're the highest. Yeah.
Damn.
The next 3 here. This is a WWF 1991 sealed curtain set. These were WWF curtains for your bedroom. They feature Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, the Big Boss Man, and the Macho Man. Yeah. Or is it the 1990s? Well, I guess 1996, because it was the only year that WCW ran the pay-per-view event known as Hog Wild. The next year they had to change it to what was it?
Road Wild?
Road Wild, thank you. Because of copyright issues. This is a Hog Wild Sturgis motorcycle riding patch. As you know, they held this event during the Sturgis motorcycle run. So there was a motorcycle patch that you could put on your leather jacket.
Was that the event where you couldn't hear what was going on in the ring over the fucking motorcycles?
Possibly. Or is it the 1999 WWF New York, the restaurant, jersey? It is a jersey that features the WWF New York logo. Which one of these 3 are going for the most expensive price on eBay?
New York jersey.
Ooh, points, Nick.
Damn, really?
That is actually the cheapest, going for the price of $88.99.
Telling me a writing pad is worth more than $88?
You'd be
Holy
amazed.
fuck.
You'd be amazed with which one was the highest of those two.
God damn.
And your last three here. Let's go with. Okay, let's go with these three. Is it a brand new sealed DVD copy of the TNA Best of Hulk Hogan DVD? Which I didn't even know he had that much shit in TNA to have a Best of DVD.
I mean, whether he had a best of, or whether he had enough to have a best of, or just enough content to fill a DVD,
You know? Or is it the AAA, the Latin promotion lunchbox that features Conan on the cover there with Thermos? It has it's a yellow lunchbox that features Conan in his lucha gear. Right before he became like Cholo fucking Conan and WCW. Or let's go with this. Or is it the 1990s WCW and NWO necktie that features Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, and Sting? Which one of these three are going for the most expensive price on eBay?
We'll go with the lunchbox.
No points. That is
Well,
actually
that's
the one in the middle. That is that Conan lunchbox is going for the price of $100.
damn, and it's in the middle. Shit.
That's in the middle. It is. All right. So that was the modified. It came from eBay. So now we're going to move on to the 3-word dance, which is where we give each other 3 words that may relate to a wrestler.
You know what we should do on future episodes? If there's only going to be 2 of us, we do the 2-way dance.
Oh, the 2-word dance?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. That would be difficult.
That would be, yeah, that would fucking, my head would explode. All right. Your first 3 words are, oh, good luck with this one.
Fuck.
Your 3 words are rope, sister, stomp. Rope, sister, and stomp.
Okay. Seth Rollins.
No.
Bray Wyatt.
No.
Dustin Rhodes.
No.
Mm.
No. Whatever you're about to say, no.
Dances with Dudley.
Definitely not.
Yeah. Oops, sister, stomp.
Rope, sister, stomp.
God damn. You're going to go 3 for 3 on a night when it's just me, and that's not fair.
And these aren't bullshit ones either.
I can only imagine they aren't. This is not my strong suit. Rope. Sister. Katie Lee Burchill?
No.
Stop. Daniel Bryan.
No.
No, okay, yeah. I'm gonna keep trying though. Maybe not hint.
Your hint being so close.
Fuck's sake. Paul Burchill.
Damn it! When you said Katie Burchill, I was like, oh shit. I was like, the next word out of his mouth is gonna be Paul Burchill. You're like, Daniel Bryan. That's why I was like trying not to laugh. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah. When you said so close, I didn't think of that at first, and I was like, oh, He-Man, I was almost there.
But rope, because he was pirate Paul Burchill, he's swinging on the rope. The whole incest storyline that they tried to do, and the stomp, he actually used that curb stomp for a little bit as his finish.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah. Damn, man. When you said you're like Katie Lee Burchill, I was like, oh shit. Like, no.
Damn. All right. Yeah. My first three.
Okay.
Pretty, family, throat.
Pretty. I always write down the letters first.
Yeah.
Pretty, family, throat. Earthquake?
Nope.
Adrian Adonis?
Nope.
Pretty, family, and throat. I only went to Earthquake because he died of throat cancer. That's all I had. The family. The King Kong Bundy?
Nope.
Big John Studd?
Nope.
Rick Rude?
Nope.
All right. Okay. I was thinking somebody in the Heenan family, but no. Pretty. That's what's fucking me up here, believe it or not. It's pretty.
That's kind of meant to.
Throat. Is it Snitsky?
Nope.
Not Snitsky. I meant to say Kane.
No.
Fuck. All right, hint.
Cancer.
You're a dick.
It's actually what I had for my hint before you said it.
Pretty family throat cancer. Pretty family throat cancer. Is it Yvonne Eric?
No.
Okay. Pretty family throat and cancer. Damn, Earthquake's the only wrestler I can think of that died of fucking throat cancer. Or had throat cancer, because it could have been somebody who beat throat cancer, to be fair.
Mm-hmm. Could be.
Family. Is it Stu Hart?
No.
I don't know why I thought Stu Hart.
I don't know either.
None of those words make any fucking sense.
I mean, family kind of does.
Yeah, kind of. Is it Bob Orton?
No.
All right, you got me.
All right. Did you say Bobby Heenan?
I said, is it somebody in the Heenan? Oh, God damn it!
I was like, did I miss something?
I was thinking of people in the Heenan family.
Yeah.
Fuck, I was right there.
The Heenan family, throat cancer, and when he started off his pretty boy Bobby Heenan.
All right. Let's go with. Okay. Your three words are list, ingenious, vigorous.
Liv Morgan?
God damn!
I was like, ingenious and vigorous are two, like, they're sticking out here.
I did have Viscera at first, but I was like, I think that's really gonna like point in the direction that I'm fucking with them. So like, let me change that on the fly here. So I was like, vigorous. That sounds like a more gooder word. Fuck, man.
Yeah, no shit. All right, my next three. Royal, Monster, Ted.
Royal Monster Ted. The King Haku?
Nope.
Is it King Kong Bundy?
Yes. Damn. Yeah, Royal Monster, Ted Bundy.
All right. Last one here for me. Your three words are toe, box, beyond.
Was that Box or Fox?
Box, B-O-X. Toe, as in like big toe, box, and beyond.
I'm getting nothing from TBB.
Because it's not TBB.
Yeah, I figured as much.
I'm getting at least one of these fuckers. I almost had you with Paul Burchill.
You almost did, yeah. You almost did. Foot? Square? Beyond.
Fuck?
I'm just trying to think of like
foot square.
Yeah, boxes are square. Toes on a foot. Just trying to think of other words. Bret Hart.
No.
Did anybody have a toe injury? Terry Funk.
God damn it!
Anybody that comes out of a box is over?
Fuck! Toe, because the spinning toe hold and box. Yeah, he came out of a box as Chainsaw Charlie, and Beyond, he was featured in Beyond the Mat. God!
Oh, yes.
I was like, how? How did he get there?
Yeah.
I had Road for some reason as fucking one of the clues, and I couldn't remember why I wrote Road, so I changed it to box before I did it.
Oh, I see. Yeah, if you put Road in that, I probably wouldn't have gotten it.
Well, shit, I didn't get it because I couldn't remember why I wrote Road. I tricked myself.
I'll have to figure it out later, I suppose. All right, my last three. Savage, Outdoor, Sell.
Kofi Kingston.
Damn.
Fuck, I went 0 for 3 in this shit, man.
It's been a while since you've gone 0 for 3, I'm pretty
sure. I
sure.
went 0 for 3 last time we did this.
Were you? Oh, yes! Fuck.
Because the last
you had that one where you went.
Yeah, the last three I did were Alba Fire, Big Show, and Shotzi Blackheart.
Oh, okay, I got Big Show, and I think Nick got the other two.
Nick got the other two, yeah.
Yeah, that's
I almost had him with Shotzi, but then I used the color green as a hint.
You went 3 for nothing. Like, we didn't guess the 3. You got the 3, right? The one night?
I did go 3 for 3 one night.
Yeah, and then now it's just been
and now it's just been fucking downhill ever since. I've been the fucking Jinder Mahal, a fucking three-word dance. I've reached the top and then like fucking just went downhill ever since.
Oof. You're starting to get pinned by R-Truth on a golf cart.
I know, right? Yeah, shit, man. Fuck. All right, so that was our games we like to play here. 3-word dance, and it came from eBay here. So everybody got a point. It came from eBay. You got one, Nick got one, and nobody got one. So
yeah.
And fucking 3-word dance. Fuck, I want to get rid of that goddamn game some nights. Like, okay, like Liv, I'm like, okay, you know, like ever since we started doing that, I'm just like, okay, maybe I can throw one under the radar there, but like, I think y'all have nailed me every fucking time I went for that.
This one was just the last 2 words, especially, were they stood out a lot.
Well, I figured Ingenious would kind of blend in, and then I had Viscera, and I was like, no, change that. That's really going to stand out. And I was like, Vigorous. All right, there we go. And then Paul Burchill, once you said Kaylee Burchill, I was like, fuck, he's got it. And then you're like Daniel Bryan. I was like, oh, yes, got it. You know? And then I was like, ooh, so close. And I didn't think you'd think harder about that. And then you're like,
I didn't at first. It took me a second. And I was like,
yeah.
okay, I know what he's saying now.
And then, yeah, the fucking Terry Funk one, I'm just like, how? How the fuck did you get there?
Anybody who comes out of a box is over.
Anybody comes out of a goddamn box is over. All right. All right, and now we're going to get into our review of WrestleMania 2, but before we do that, we got to give a quick shout out to our great sponsor over at MoviesRUSA.net, which they are a great website who they specialize in hard-to-find movies and TV shows that have either never been released on Blu-ray or DVD or are hard to find on Blu-ray and DVD. And you can head on over there and find movies that have either, you know what, let me take another run at this. I don't know why I keep fucking this up, man.
No, that's okay.
Yeah, so. All right, let's try it again. Now let's hear from our sponsor, the great people over at MoviesRUSA.net. And what MoviesRUSA.net is a great website where you can head on over and find hard-to-find TV shows and movies that have either never been released on Blu-ray and or DVD before or are hard to find on Blu-ray and DVD before. And if you head on over there right now, you can pick up movies from Netflix, HBO Max, Amazon that have never been released on those platforms before, and you can head on over there and get those for a great reasonable price. They are all on Blu-ray, DVD by special request for the movies only, unfortunately not for TV shows, and you can use our checkout code 3-way, the word or the number, doesn't matter which one you use because they're both going to work, and they're going to save you 50% off on your purchase. And just released is the HBO Max phenomenon, The Last of Us Season 1. I think you've played The Last of Us, right? No, you haven't?
I played it. The TV show fucking stunk.
What?
Yeah, it does not follow the fucking game like at all.
Yes, it does. They changed a few things, but
they changed a lot.
Well, I mean, yeah, they definitely changed Frank and Bill, but
they added
the one, and they changed the one kid being, and yeah, they did add a character.
They added a lot of characters, and they fucking like they didn't even like really have a zombie infection to worry about. Like they barely fought any zombies. They didn't show that many clickers. They didn't show a bloater.
They did.
When?
In episode 5.
Which one was episode 5?
That was when the fucking the leader chick in Kansas City, like when right before when Joel was gonna kill the sniper.
Okay.
And then they all rise up from the ground and shit. Like all the runners come up from the ground, and then the bloater comes up like.
Oh yeah, they did have that. There was that one scene, but
yeah.
I mean, the game was just so much better.
I will agree. The game story-wise is better, but because that you have 15 fucking hours to play with.
I know, but like you had a TV show, you could have made this a lot better. Like you could have stretched it out for 2 seasons.
Well, it was originally supposed to be a movie. Just think, you would have had an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours to play with.
Well, and then you get the fucking Resident Evil movie, which was even fucking worse.
Well, hey, if you don't want to take our words for it, you can be the judge. Head on over to head on over to MoviesRUSA.net and you can pick up the entire first season. If you don't want to pay $15 or $20 a month for HBO Max just to see the show, just to wonder what the fuck we're talking about, head on over to MoviesRUSA.net. You can pay that same price for the whole season. Keep it. You don't have to fucking return it or anything like that. You don't have to pay it monthly to keep your Blu-ray. You can keep The Last of Us Season 1. Great soundtrack on it. The music in it was great. You know? Plus, you can't get this one on MoviesRUSA.net, but I do highly suggest that if you do watch the show, go listen to the episodes of the podcast on YouTube because they are great to listen to. There's a lot of inside information that they provide and everything. And of course, if The Last of Us is not your thing, if you're like, fuck the show, I don't care what either one of you say, there are over 3,000 other titles you can choose from on that website. And if you spend over $50, you're going to get free shipping. And if you don't want to spend that much, $5 shipping. And hey, if you want to go on a spending spree there, hey, you can do shop pay for your stuff in 4 equal payments. And international listeners, don't think we haven't forgotten about you. I look at them analytics every damn week. You know, we know you're listening, man. Canada's our number 1 listener right there.
Mm-hmm.
Justin Trudeau, we know you're listening. And shit.
I kind of showed it.
Who's your fucking prime minister now?
It's Justin Trudeau.
Oh, is it? I thought it was somebody
Yeah.
different now. Who's the guy
No,
before?
no. Who was it before?
You're Canadian. Come on.
I know. I don't even remember. Stephen Harper, I think, was the one before.
Stephen Harper. That's what I was thinking. Stephen Harper. We know you're
Yeah.
listening. You know.
Yeah. Okay.
India, Hungary, United Arab Emirates, France. We know you're all listening out there. You guys can also enjoy the greatness that is moviesarusa.net. All we ask is that you pay the exact shipping charge. Unfortunately, that spend $50 and get free shipping, that little trick doesn't work for you because it is expensive to send out of the country and overseas. But you can still use that checkout code 3-way, word or the number, and save 50% on your purchase. So that will help you out a little bit there. So head on over to moviesarusa.net. Use that checkout code 3-way. Save yourself 50%. And The Last of Us was awesome. I don't care what Shelby said.
Right. I didn't like Ellie either in the TV show.
I will say the look of her at first, I was just like, that doesn't really look Ellie to me. But I like the attitude.
I didn't. I thought it was like way too much of a bitch. She was just a bitch to everyone. And in the show, like, she's a little bit more of a badass, or in the fucking game, she's a little bit more of a badass than a bitch. I didn't think that, like, and I like that. Well, I shouldn't say I like her as an actress. I saw her on Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
But that was about it. But I liked the guy who played Joel though. I thought he did pretty good.
Yeah, he did pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
The only the stuff that they added, we'll get to WrestleMania 2, I promise. The stuff that they added, too long on this. The stuff that they added, I was just like, at first I was like, oh, I don't like this, but then like it ended up being okay. Like the deaf kid. At first I was like, why is he deaf? But then like there was that moment. Spoiler alert. There was that moment where Ellie was like wrote "I'm sorry" on the fucking play toy and left it. I was like, oh, dude, like that guy.
Yeah, but she didn't know originally, right? In the game, she didn't know that he was infected.
Yes,
so it just no, she didn't.
She didn't?
No.
Oh, okay.
She got bit, but she didn't know. And then like they added that chick in what'd you say it was earlier? Kansas City?
Yeah, Kansas City in the game.
They added the
in
chick,
the show in the main.
Yeah, they added the chick in there who like you're supposed to fucking feel for a little bit, but in the game, like they're just supposed to be shit human beings that just want to kill people.
Yeah.
It just they added things that just didn't make sense to me. I didn't care for it. Again, it was not as bad as a TV show. It would be okay. But like compared to the Resident Evil movie, yeah. No, but like if they didn't
no, like as a TV show it was okay. I'm like, it was a TV show.
As a TV show standalone, wasn't based on a game, it was okay. And it was far more watchable than the fucking Resident Evil movie that they brought out last year.
I think we have to do like a special 8 or 9 episode podcast on this.
I don't know if I want to watch it again.
Like we do it.
I'm not watching the next season.
Like we watch episode 1, then review it. I think because we have some conflicting opinions on this. Anyway, WrestleMania 2. WrestleMania 2, which was of course after WrestleMania 1 and before WrestleMania 3. This was their at the time their most ambitious WrestleMania because as most people know, WrestleMania 1 was a big gamble for Vince McMahon. It was make or break on WrestleMania 1. If WrestleMania 1 was not a success, we probably wouldn't be watching WWE today. As we know, it was a success. So Vince was just like, we're going to go even fucking bigger with WrestleMania 2. So he didn't do it from one city, not 2. He did it from 3 separate cities. New York, Chicago, and Los Angeles, which I'm surprised they haven't brought that gimmick back. Because here, I will say it was executed poorly.
It was.
But I'm surprised they haven't figured out a way to capitalize to make that better.
I think they could do it now with having WrestleMania 2 nights. But if they were to try and do this again with like the 6 to 8 hour format they had, the people in the arenas would be fucking livid because let's face it, most of the matches on these shows were very short. Most of them were under 10 minutes until you get to like the main event. That was back then.
And just think if they did it now. Okay, so let's say they do 2-night WrestleMania All right.
Mm-hmm.
And let's say, for the benefit of the doubt, let's say night 1 is in 2 cities and night 2 is in 2 cities. Okay.
Yeah.
So you have your 6-hour fucking WrestleMania. All right. So just think, like, you have, for instance, one half of WrestleMania in fucking Los Angeles. All right. So the crowd's going to be nice and hot there and everything like that. And then when it gets to that, because there's always that moment at WrestleMania, because it's 6 hours long now, where they
Mm-hmm.
get like fucking dead. That's
Yeah.
when you bring your big fucking screen down. You go to your other city, let's say Chicago, you let them get hot and
Yeah.
everything. And then boom, there you go. And then everybody in the arena can sit down, watch the big screens for Chicago. They get the fuck out. Chicago gets done. They get the fuck out. Then boom, you move on to night 2.
There's two train of thoughts here, right? So if I was sitting in an arena and they had a match and then they rolled down a big screen and they were like, all right, watch this screen for the next match, I'd be like, why the fuck did I pay $100 to watch a goddamn TV screen?
Yeah, but at that point, you know what you're signing up for, though.
I guess. And then I'd just be like, all right, I'm not going to pay $100 to go to WrestleMania this year.
Oh, yeah, that's true, too.
But I see your point in I think the way that they executed it in doing it in parts, like the New York part, and then that part's over, and then the LA part, or I guess they did Chicago, and doing that and finishing off New York and then moving on, I think that would probably be the way to do it. You would just make them shorter events. So it's like, do you want to sit there for 8 hours or do you want to sit there for 4 hours? You know? I don't know. It's really hard to say, but I could see them doing it now with like Saturday nights in New York and Sunday nights in fucking Chicago. You know, I think that would work.
Yeah. And also, the first WrestleMania had Liberace, Muhammad Ali, Cyndi Lauper, of course, Mr. T. They really amped the celebrities up for this fucking WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I mean, they had guest commentators, guest fucking timekeepers, ring announcers, fucking anything that could throw a guest into, they fucking did it.
I could see why they did what they did for this one, especially when it comes to they wanted to do something different, right? And they wanted it to be spectacular still. So I could see why they did 3 different arenas for the night. And it's unique. It's something that we've never seen again, right? So it's kind of unique in that way.
Well, like some of the celebrities they got just had, I'm sorry, but the I can't remember her name. Yeah, dude, Susan St. James.
Was she the one at New York?
The girl in the second one.
Oh, in Chicago. Yeah.
That girl had no business fucking being there.
You know what's funny though, and like I didn't write this in my notes, and I mean we'll get to the review, but she's the only one that said that, like, yeah, I've actually watched wrestling before.
Yeah, she was like, "Oh, I watched it with my grandfather and stuff."
Yeah,
like that. She knew shit about it.
Yeah, I know. Well, her grandfather was a big fan of Gorgeous George.
The girl with Vince, Christy St. James or whatever her name was, and Elvira, at least they like fucking played their parts.
Elvira was, I honestly,
fucking fantastic.
I thought Elvira was the best, but maybe that's just my own bias because I really like Elvira.
Yeah, same here. I like Elvira.
And she would make that joke too.
Let's get into Mania here. We start off in where was it? Chicago?
New York.
And in the first match here, I want to mention Brian Zane of Wrestling with Gret, who we mentioned here quite a bit, which I gotta get in contact with him, tell him how much we kiss his ass on this show and see if he'll give us a shout out.
How much you kiss his ass, you mean?
Well, oh yeah, that's true.
I was gonna say I don't think I've ever talked about him.
Yeah, I kind of mentioned it, and then y'all just kind of be like, "Oh yeah, that's true."
I don't really watch shit, to be fair.
You don't watch them?
No, I'm actually subscribed to him, but I don't watch him because I. And this is like probably edit this out if you want to show it to him, but I find him kind of cringy.
What?
The same way that, like, have you ever watched Angry Video Game Nerd?
Yeah.
Yeah, same way that I find AVGN to be cringy as well.
Oh, his early stuff is great. His newer shit's kind of like
his newer shit's really bad, but
he just Brian Zane recently did a list where it was just like biggest WrestleMania downfalls, by which he meant like, on one WrestleMania they were here, and then the very next WrestleMania they were here. And
that
for some reason,
one of my first notes. If
he did not mention this, and that is the opening match is Don Morocco taking on Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff. Paul Orndorff, who was in the main event.
Yeah.
WrestleMania 1.
Yeah.
is now the opening fuck match of WrestleMania 2. That bothered me when I watched the show.
The opening match of the first fucking arena. Like,
yeah.
God damn.
And like, I always forget that Paul Orndorff at one time was a babyface in WWF.
Well, I think that's part of the problem is he never really came across as a very good babyface.
Oh, but he was over though.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. He was over
and like,
here.
This is like, again, I'm not really into like the old school type of guys and shit like that, unless he's Orville Brown. But yeah, okay. I do love me some fucking Paul Orndorff.
Yeah,
I do like Orndorff here. These two were going at it, and like now again, people at home, I had COVID when I watched the show, so my notes are not as like detailed as they usually are. But the match was really starting to cook. I was getting into it. I was like, fucking hey, Paul Orndorff kicking some ass. I don't really know that much about Morocco. I know of him, but I've never really seen a lot of work from him. I was like, hell yeah, man. It was like one of those things where like, man, you start to get comfy and shit. You're like, this is gonna be a good match, and then the double count on happened.
Yeah.
I was like, oh fuck, man.
Yeah.
So because of that, I'm going to give it 2.5 stars.
Yeah, I gave it a 2. Honestly, most of my notes related to the fact that Orndorff went from main eventing WrestleMania 1 to opening WrestleMania 2.
Yeah.
It just never really got a lot of time. Probably could have been a lot better. And it's probably one of the worst opening matches in WrestleMania history.
I don't know about one of the worst matches, because it was actually pretty decent until the fucking double counter happened. I was getting into it.
I guess it just
could have been the COVID talking, could have been the fever.
Yeah,
but still, I was enjoying it until it happened.
It just felt kind of flat for me. That's all. Like it didn't do it for me.
Fair enough.
But I gave it a
2. Next match here, Randy Savage defending the Intercontinental Championship against George Animal Steel, and this match had no business being as entertaining as it was.
It wasn't bad.
It needed a better finish though.
I liked it.
Of course you would.
I liked it with Savage, cheating to get the pin with his feet on the ropes.
I didn't like the finish.
But Susan St. James really doesn't like Macho Man.
You think?
Fucking holy shit. Miss Elizabeth should hook up with the Animal.
Pretty sure
instead.
She blew George Animal Steel backstage for this show. That's what I'm like, man. Shit, did she blow George Steele backstage for the show as much as she was fucking verbally sucking him off?
Yeah.
But overall, I did enjoy this, except for the finish. 3 stars.
Yeah, I gave it a 3 as well.
Oh my god, we agreed.
I know, eh?
And the next one here, man, this is gonna sound really biased because everybody knows that I'm a huge Jake. Jake is the greatest of all time. But okay. So next up is Jake the Snake Roberts taking on George Wells. I have never heard of George Wells before this match, but
he did a little bit in like the 70s and stuff. Like he had kind of gone around a couple of the territories.
Okay, so I was loving this match. The match was too short, and I think WWE or WWF at the time really missed something with this Wells guy. I was really enjoying this George Wells guy.
Yeah, and he never really got out of mid-card anywhere he went. Like he
I was
never really made it
digging
big.
This guy, man. I was just like, oh fuck, man, this guy, man, I'm really enjoying him and shit, man. The match, I wanted more of these two because Jake is good no matter what, and then this George Wells guy was impressing me and shit. I needed more. I needed more time with these guys, man. Like if there's like a fucking 20-minute match out there with these two guys, please, for the love of God, link me to it because I would love to watch it. So 3.25 stars.
I don't know if it should have been 20 minutes, but I would have given it
I could have watched it. It
10 or 15, probably.
I was loving it.
But I gave it a 3, so I thought it was all right. But poor George Wells. I looked up
this guy afterward. I was like, "Does this guy have a Wikipedia page?" And he does. Yeah, apparently played football and all this shit, man. I was like, "Damn, man, whoever this George." Apparently, he was Bret Hart's partner before Anvil.
Oh, that I didn't know.
Yeah, he was Bret Hart's partner for Anvil and shit. But yeah, I was just, I don't know what it was, man. He had a good look to him, good build, man. He was throwing some shit with Jake and everything. I was like, man, I'm digging this cat, man.
Yeah.
And then I was like, let me go read about it. He must have became a big star. And it was like kissed into a shotgun, killed himself. I was like, oh, fuck, okay. No, not really, but.
I was going to say, I don't remember that.
But like, that's how I felt when I found out he was basically nothing. And I was like, damn, man, because like, I think they missed the bar with this guy, man.
Yeah.
And in the main event of New York, Uh, a sort of semi rematch of WrestleMania 1. Mr. T taking on Roddy Piper. I felt that this was better than I expected because, like, when you think
way better than I expected.
when you think WrestleMania, the last thing on
Yeah.
the fucking checklist is boxing.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
but I do also think that this was very unneeded.
Really?
I do. I don't think they needed a boxing match. I think they taught T how to work.
Yeah.
I think they could have maybe had like a decent matchup. I know Piper at the time fucking hated Mr. T, and I'm
Right.
sure Mr. T fucking hated Piper.
Oh, probably.
But maybe because he's white. I don't know. Or maybe because he knew in a couple of years he was going to do blackface. Who knows? But I don't know. It just the boxing was okay. I don't know if it was worked or shoot or not. If it was worked, they did a damn good job of making it look real.
They did, and
though.
especially the first round, you couldn't tell me that was worked. It just looked so legit. It was fucking well done if it was.
I don't know. Just again with the competitors involved and everything. Again, I'm just going right down the middle at 2.5. Like I said, it was better than expected. I was really expecting like fucking Arn Anderson, Johnny B. Bad from Uncensored, but it was above that expectation. So yeah, that's where I'm going with that one.
You forgot to mention Cab Calloway as a judge.
Fuck yeah, Cab Calloway.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Follow-up
question. Follow-up question. Who the fuck's Cab Calloway?
Cab Calloway was an artist from like the early 30s and 40s and shit. And have you ever heard the song St. James Infirmary?
Fuck yeah.
No, you haven't. Okay. Anyways, he did that song. Yeah.
What is St. James Infirmary?
He did a lot of songs in like Betty.
Lately.
Yeah. He did a lot of songs in like Betty Boop and stuff like that, right? I fucking love some of his shit, and I was just like, holy fuck, he's a judge here? Because he was like 80 something here, I think, too. Like he was an old fuck.
Oh, that's why he didn't get into the ring.
Yeah.
Because they're like, all right, introducing our first guest judge, and they said whoever it was, I forgot.
It was like an NBA player, I think.
He got into the ring and got in and waved and shit. And the second one was Cab Calloway, and then he just stood up and waved like fucking whatever. And then the third one, they're like, this guy, and he came in, waved and shit. I was like, I guess Cab Calloway was like, fuck this shit.
Yeah,
why the fuck am I even here?
Yeah, that's probably.
Now that makes sense. Now that you said he's like 80 at the time, I'm like, okay, now that makes sense why he didn't come in the ring.
Yeah, well, he was like, he must have been like 20 or something in the 30s and 40s. Like he was, he would have been an old guy. Anyways, I love this match. I was very shocked at how well this was done. You really do believe that Mr. T and Roddy Piper hate each other, and obviously they did. Mr. T's promo at the beginning before this match was fucking hilarious too. He said he wasn't going to talk that much, and then he just kept going on. Piper's promo at the beginning of the show was really good as well.
Oh, okay, I forgot this because again, COVID. But there was a line in Piper's promo that fucking cracked me up. He said something like, "Oh, Mr. T, I'm going to give up everything. I'll even give up women." And then he looks at Bob Orton. He was like, "Except for you, Ace, I wouldn't give you up."
Yeah, yeah.
I forgot about that line. That line cracked me up.
Piper's the goddamn master. And I disagree. I think that especially having the breaks in between and having Piper just constantly attacking Mr. T, I think that made the boxing match even better. Although, I mean, if that was the actually happening in an actual boxing match, pretty sure that fucking Piper's crew would have been disqualified. But
I always thought him throwing the stool at Mr. T was the DQ.
Oh,
yeah.
I see.
So like when I saw him throw the stool, I was like, "Well, okay, there's the ending." And then they went more. I was like, "Oh fuck, there's more."
Yeah, yeah, and then disqualifies him for shoving the ref and then giving Mr. T a body slam. I thought that was great too. Yeah. Neither guy really lost the match. I gave it.
I'm gonna go 2 3/4 star just for the fucking line in the promo.
There you go. I gave it a 4 out of 5.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, I fucking loved it, man. It's one of the best matches on the show, I thought.
Mr. T, I'm going to give up everything for you. I'll even give up women, except for you, Ace. I'm not going to give you up. Now we're moving on to Chicago. for our 4 matches there. And the
Oh
first
boy.
match here is WWF Women's Champion, the Fabulous Moolah, taking on Velvet McIntyre. And boy, the bell rang and it started off hot. They went fast and furious. And by the time the sentence is over, the match is over.
Yeah. I think they
Yeah.
were still introducing the commentary team. Like,
Like the
fuck.
bell rang and they started going like fucking 50 miles an hour. I was like, man, this is gonna be good, man. And then like 1, 2, 3. So I'm like, what happened?
Have you seen a lot of Velvet McIntyre?
I haven't.
Oh, she is actually really fucking good. She has a match, and it was going to be my vintage pick of the week, but I didn't put it in there because I couldn't exactly remember where it was from. But she had a match with Sherry on a WWF show in the 80s. And it was like, it wasn't a long match, but it was a good match. And
I
this
think I
isn't,
know what match you're talking about.
yeah. And this isn't the fact of the week, but she wrestled barefoot near like the end of her career because at one point she went to the back. I think it was after a match. She went for a shower or something, and she came out and somebody stole her fucking wrestling boots.
Huh.
So she just said fuck it, and she just started wrestling barefoot all the time.
Was what the match we're talking about that you can't remember where it was? Was Sherry the women's champion at the time?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, I know what match you're talking about then.
Yeah,
I don't remember where
yeah.
it's from either, but I know what match you're talking about.
And I mean, Velvet wrestled in the 70s and stuff too. Like if you look at some of the old Madison Square Garden shows, they have tag matches with Velvet McIntyre and some other girl against, 2 blonde girls. And there's a lot of Velvet out there from that time. And she was Canadian, I think, if I remember correctly. But it felt here like Moolah was just like,
It was like I got places to fucking be.
At first I thought Moolah was putting her in her place. And then on the second watch, it almost looked like Moolah shot on her with the fucking pin.
Yeah, because
And
Velvet did look confused.
yeah, she really did. I miss Velvet McIntyre. I don't fucking miss Moolah. Everything I've heard of Moolah is fuck you, Moolah.
I don't know. Like I said, they started off going fast and everything. I was like, man, this is gonna be pretty decent and everything. And then it was over. I was like, what? So
Yeah.
just for the talent involved, I gave it 1 star.
I gave it a 1 as well.
All right. Coming up next, and like the most confusing fucking match of the night to me.
Yeah.
Corporal Kirshner taking on Nikolai Volkov in a flag match. The winner of the match will get to wave their flag. So Volkov comes to the ring waving his flag, and Corporal Kirshner comes to the ring waving his flag. Yeah.
Yep.
And I never knew. Okay, listen. I know Corporal Kirshner was like, a mid-card wrestler in the 80s and shit. I knew he had the action figures. There's a couple of action figures of him floating around out there and everything. Hearing this WrestleMania 2 crowd, you would have thought he was fucking Hulk Hogan.
Yeah. Well, I
I never knew he was that fucking over.
I think when anybody comes in, especially in the 80s, waving a fucking American flag during the Cold War, or this would have been near the end of it, I guess, they're over.
Yeah, but I don't know, man.
Especially after Volkov does the national anthem for Russia.
And I'm like, why is this a flag match? Like, I know they didn't really have weekly programming at the time, and like even then, we don't really. I don't know if you guys do. I don't watch the weekly lead up and shit.
No, I don't have time.
Yeah. But like, I'm like, why the fuck is this a flag match? I mean, it's like the winner gets to wave their flag. They came out waving their goddamn flags.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I like Volkov and I love the national anthem, but other than that, that was about all I liked about this match.
When I used to play SmackDown Here Comes the Pain on PS2, Volkov had this move. Like, he did, like, this weird spinning sidekick, and I'm just like, Volkov never fucking did that move. He did it in this match. I'll be damned if it wasn't the first fucking move he threw. I was like, my God, he actually did do that move.
There you go.
So, just for how fucking over Corporal was, and again, the talent involved, 1 3/4 star.
I had it at a 2. I'm downgrading it to a 1.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, next up is the NFL and WWF Battle Royal. Now, this is where shit gets weird because for years, WWE has always talked about, the William Perry moment, such like that. Always knew there was a battle royal with WWF and NFL. I always thought it was 10 NFL players and 10 WWF wrestlers. I never knew it was 6.
Yeah, me too.
So that was
Me
new
too.
to learn here.
Yeah.
And why the fuck? Like, I have nothing against the guy. He just played his part. But, like, I don't understand why WWE was just like, all right, Bill Fralick from, one of the football players. All right, Bill Fralick, you're going to do this fucking thing with John Studd. You're going to do this interview, but then you're not going to have anything major going on in the Battle Royal.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they tried to do with Perry and he just couldn't do the promo, or maybe they were going to do something with Studd and him and just never did. I mean, I thought that little interview segment was pretty funny, but
yeah, it was good. Big John Dud.
Yeah. But yeah, he just kind of like ended up being nothing in the match, and it was like, okay.
That's what I didn't get. I'm just like, why do you put all this time on Bill Fralick just to have this memorable moment with Perry, which I get. Chicago was his hometown. He's a Chicago Bear. I get that. But like you just had this huge promo segment with Fralick and Studd. I didn't get it. Anyway. And then like the last football player in was somebody I don't even fucking remember the name of. It came down to Andre, Brett, Jim, and one of the football players. I don't remember who the fuck it was.
I might be able to find the name.
I think it was like one of the Cowboys, I think.
Russ Francis, 49ers tight end.
49ers, yeah. See? I don't even know. Then they didn't fucking like make that a big deal, which I get. It was the 80s. Like today, if that battle royal were to happen, oh my god, this would be fucking huge.
Yeah.
That and Andre would not have won if this fucking match happened today. Damn well one of them football players would have won.
I don't know.
I don't know, because Colin Joust and Michael Shea, they didn't win the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, which I thought was going to happen.
And like, you can't compare Andre to like the Giants of today either, right? Like, he was a different Giant.
I'm just saying, like, given how WWE treats their celebrities at WrestleMania today, like, do you know the absolute fucking mini? I wouldn't say huge riot, but mini riot that would have happened had Bad Bunny have lost at that WrestleMania.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah, because then why bring him the fuck in?
I don't know. I don't think it would have been that bad if he lost. I think it makes more sense to have him go
I think
over.
You can bring in who can take a loss if built right, Like Logan Paul. I think Logan Paul could have took that loss at WrestleMania and been A-okay, but
don't get me wrong, I think he had a very good match with Miz and Morrison and Damian Priest, but I still don't get the Bad Bunny thing. I don't listen to his music. He doesn't speak English, so I don't really I don't get the Bad Bunny thing. I don't get why everybody's like so into him, but I don't like his music, so that's probably why.
I don't like his music either, but I think he's a fantastic wrestler. He does this pretty well.
Nah.
It's like Logan Paul. I could give a fuck about his podcast and his fucking social media empire, his fucking boxing that he did. I could give a fuck less, but he's damn good at this wrestling thing.
He's better than Bad Bunny, no?
Oh yeah, I'll give you.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, the Battle Royal was fun. I did like fucking, I don't know what the hell Jim Neidhart was doing, but like I think what was it? Andre like chopped him or kicked him, and like Neidhart flew like 15 feet to jump over the fucking top rope.
Yeah.
Like what the fuck?
It was a little ridiculous.
Yeah, but fun Battle Royal for WrestleMania, 3 stars.
My only complaint about this, Bruno, they didn't make a big enough deal about Bruno coming in because he was their golden goose for fucking decades. And I feel like Bruno should have been in a match in New York because he would have got a much bigger pop in New York coming out rather than Chicago, where I don't think he ever fucking wrestled.
Fridge pulling at John. WrestleMania too.
Well, yeah, other than that, though, he didn't have a storied career in Chicago. Fridge pulling Big John Studd over the top rope was great. Yeah. And the Hart Foundation trying to eliminate Andre was great. Andre winning, loved that. This is probably my favorite Battle Royal of all time. I give it a 4 out of 5. I fucking loved it, man. I actually really loved it.
It's a fun Battle Royal. Yeah. I'm not gonna, but really the best Battle Royal of all time?
I don't really care for battle royals for the most part, but I thought this one made sense and was done really well considering there were
We
fucking
gotta
football
start like our
players.
own podcast, just like Will versus Shelby, because like our different opinions on shit is just
I know it's mind-boggling sometimes,
yeah,
eh?
because like yeah. And coming up next, the main event of Chicago, the British Bulldogs of Dynamite Kid and Davey Boy Smith with Captain Louis Albano and Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah,
That
which
was
he looked fucked up.
yeah. Taking on the Dream Team of Greg Valentine and Brutus Beefcake, which, you know, if you would have lined up 4 pairs of wrestlers and said, which one's a tag team, I would not have picked Valentine and Brutus Beefcake.
No.
Because Valentine's just there wearing black trunks and Beefcake's there looking like, you know, fucking Beefcake.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And like, why are they the fucking Dream Team? I never got that.
Yeah, I don't quite get that either. And I don't really think that I mean, they did an okay job as a tag team, but I feel like
Yes. I guess good enough to be the
Valentine's
tag champs, I guess.
yeah, I feel like Valentine's WWF career was just ruined by being in stupid tag teams and other shit.
Well,
I don't know.
I think the one with Valentine makes more. Well, no, I was about to say I think the one with Valentine, or the one with Brutus, makes more sense than the one with Honky Tonk. Yeah, it does.
You think so? I don't think either of them really makes sense.
It makes more sense than the one with Honky Tonk.
I guess if you had to put it that way, then I suppose maybe it does. But yeah, I don't
Like,
know.
which
I
tag
didn't.
team would you rather see? Greg Valentine teaming with Brutus Beefcake, or like Greg Valentine trying to be a wannabe Honky Tonk Man with Honky Tonk Man?
I mean, I prefer Honky Tonk Man over Beefcake, but I'd rather just see Valentine on his own.
Well, that
I
too.
don't know.
Um, Also, after the match, when the Bulldogs won, they interview Ozzy Osbourne, and
Yeah.
I forgot who interviewed her. It was some chick. I don't know. But she was like, "Oh, Ozzy, are you gonna manage for the Bulldogs again?" And, yeah, man, forever. I'm gonna manage them. Never seen him again.
Again, he was drugged out, had no idea what he was saying. Probably doesn't even remember it.
It was just funny. It was like, "You gonna manage the Bulldogs again?" He's like, "Yeah, man, forever, man. I'm gonna manage them forever." And I just never showed up again. That or he showed up at like the next taping and he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do it forever." And they're like, "No, Ozzy, that was just WrestleMania 2. We needed you.
Yeah.
Go home."
He probably thought they were going to pay him forever, and they're like, no.
Overall, though, I just thought this was this would, in my eyes, today would be what I like to call a Raw match. You could have threw this on Raw, and it would have been just fine. You know, it wasn't terrible. I mean, with the talent in there, I mean, Valentine, Bulldog, Dynamite, Brutus is okay. I'm not huge on him. I
Yeah.
mean, when you go through like 87 gimmicks in your lifetime, that's telling you something right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is what I would call a Raw match. You could have threw this on Raw and it'd been just as fine. I don't think it needed to be on WrestleMania, but the '80s were a different time. 2.5 stars.
I thought this was a great match.
I mean,
And other than the fact that I was like, all around great competitors and Beefcake. Like, I'm the same with Beefcake with you. Like, I'm not really, but I
yeah,
thought he worked
I
here.
mean, he's good. I don't think he's like the shits or anything like
No.
that.
He
But
can
yeah, I
work.
just think, like if I ever make like a top 100 greatest wrestlers of all time, I don't think Beefcake's gonna be on mine.
He might be on the top 1,000.
There you go.
That's probably being a little harsh, but now fucking correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought this
You're
headbutt
wrong.
spot was I thought the headbutt spot was the one that fucked up Davy Boy for the rest of his career.
No.
When he fucking fell off the fucking apron from getting the headbutt and fucking crashed onto the floor.
I always heard it was the trapdoor spot in WCW is what did it.
Or not Davy Boy, sorry, fucking Dynamite.
Oh, I don't know. I
Because
I know of Dynamite, and I like what he does and everything, but I don't really know his career that much.
well, I watched the Dark Side and they showed this spot. And I did some Googling and I couldn't find anything on it. And if you like watch that spot from the time that he gets hit and then flies off, you never see him again. He is never
Yeah, I
shown.
did
And
notice that. Like
fucking
after the match, they're just like, "Oh, we're trying to get Dynamite here, but he's recovering and such like that." And that's when they go to Ozzy, like, "But forever, man,"
yeah, like even Bulldog was out like fucking going to Dynamite and like what the fuck, I thought that this was the match, and maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but fuck, that is just a horrendous bump to take in that day and age when they didn't really have a whole lot of mats around the side of the ring. Because I'm
Yeah, I
pretty
don't think
sure when
Chicago had any match because
I think
they
they did, but I
New
think
York
when
didn't. Then New York didn't,
that
or
could be,
yeah, New York didn't.
but when he like fell off, I'm pretty sure his head would have missed the mat entirely and smacked on the fucking concrete. But anyways, I love this match. I think it's my match of the night. I gave it a 5 out of 5. I thought it was a great tag match. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like I said, it wasn't terrible, but I just think if I were watching the same match on like Raw today, it'd just been like, okay, it's there.
I think if
Yeah.
you like compare it to today's stuff, obviously, like it's totally different now, and whether that's better or worse is really matter of
Well, like
opinion,
I don't know,
right?
because today they seem to be trying to mix in those old school spots, like the ref didn't see the tag and the like, oh, let me lock you in a bear hug while you try and reach your partner type of spots and shit like that,
Are they though? Like if you watch an AEW tag match, you never see shit like that. Almost never.
Well,
Unless it's
okay, the
like
WWE
FTR.
is okay.
I
WWE
suppose.
tries to throw that shit in every now and then.
I mean, I suppose.
Or like Finn Balor tries to change it up, sound like he'll go under the ring, come out the other side, and pull off Edge off the apron, like he did
Sure.
at fucking what was the last pay per view they did? Elimination Chamber.
Right.
All right, and that was Chicago. Then we're moving on to, I guess, the quote unquote big main event show, which, oh boy, because like I was really enjoying the show more than I thought I was going to. Because like I picked this show because like I was like I want to do something different, like I want to do like a WrestleMania I never really watched all the way through.
Yeah.
I think I've seen like the NFL WWF Battle Royal before, and like maybe some clips of Piper and fucking T, but I never watched the whole show all the way through. So I was like, I want to do this. So as I was watching it, you can ask Shelby and Nick. Like I messaged, I was like, it may be the fever talking. I'm having more fun with this than I thought I would.
Yeah.
That was until we got to like Moolah and Velvet McIntyre. That's when I was just like, I'm starting to regret this. So the next one here is Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, who I did not know was even at WrestleMania 2.
Right.
Taking on Hercules Hernandez before the steel chains and shit.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to throw a double review at you here because I'm going to say this. The heel works the face the whole time. The face then hits 2 moves to come back and wins. 2.5 stars. Okay, now wait. Just wait. Hang with me.
Okay.
I gave it 2.5 stars because I like Ricky the Dragon Steamboat and everything. The next match is actually adorable Adrian Adonis and Uncle Elmer. All right. This match was basically the face works the heel the entire whole time. The heel comes back, hits 2 moves, and wins. I shit you not. That's what happened.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
Uncle Elmer was like fucking working over Adonis the whole fucking time. Then Adrian hit like 1 move. Then he went to the top rope, hit like an elbow drop and won.
Yeah.
Whereas in the Dragon Hercules match, I think Herc was like working over Dragon the whole time, suplexes, arm bars, all that shit like that. And Dragon came back, hit like a move, went to the top rope, crossbody, it was over.
They were different style matches though still. Just because you're looking at like Steamboat and Hernandez, a little bit quicker pace, a little bit more athletic guys. Adonis and Elmer, more bigger dudes, can't move around as much. They're different styles, but I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Like, how about a little bit of variety there, Johnny? Or Vinny, I should say.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, could you maybe, like, put in the Funks and Tito and JYD between these 2 matches and make it look like it's different?
Yeah.
2.5 stars for Dragon and Hercules, 1 star for Adrian and Uncle Elmer.
I thought Steamboat Hernandez was good. It could have been a bit longer, but I mean, Steamboat's
it was
legend.
7 minutes.
I know.
That felt like 20.
Steamboat's
this
legend.
is when I was really starting to lose my interest with the show.
All right. I gave it a 4 out of 5. I liked it. Adonis and Uncle Elmer. Oh boy. Adrian Adonis in the early 80s was actually really good. He had an old school like bodybuilder look with a strong jaw and a face the ladies would love, even though he was a heel. Then all of a sudden, he gained a ton of weight and he looks like a fat gold dust. It's a shame that he got in the car accident and died because apparently he lost a lot of weight in '88 and he was going to come back. But I just this and like the Piper match at WrestleMania 3, this is not good. Adrian Adonis. Didn't really care for the match. But Elvira's response to Adonis's dress coming off was fucking hilarious.
What was it?
She just was like, she's like, put the dress back on. She didn't want, like, she was like, not offended, but she was like confused why he was wearing a dress in the first place.
Oh yeah, okay.
And then when he took it off, she's just like, put it back on, please. I gave it a 2 out of 5. I didn't care for it. I could not even pay attention to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like once I realized that it was just the same as the first match, just in reverse. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
But oh god, speaking of matches, I cannot get into. Next up, Terry Funk and Haas Funk.
Yeah, that's Dory Funk Jr.
That's what I thought that was.
Yeah, they
like,
just called him
this
Haas
guy
Funk
looks
in
like
the
Dory
WWF.
Funk.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Taking on the fucking odd pairing of
Yeah.
Tito Santana and Junkyard Dog, which what did they do? Just draw names out of a fucking hat?
Yeah.
You know? All right, who wants to go up against the Funks? Give me a hat. All right, Tito and Junkyard Dog, go. Oh, okay, all right. Fuck, I don't even have a rating for this.
Wow.
I don't remember shit from it. I don't know. Maybe it was the fever. I don't know. I didn't write down any notes. I got nothing. I absolutely have fucking nothing.
I don't like Tito. Never have. Never understood it. Never got it.
What about Chico?
What's that?
What about Chico?
Chico?
Chico Santana.
Chico Santana.
That's what Ventura calls him.
Oh, right. Yeah. This is a Funks match. There's a lot of stalling. There's a lot of chaos. There's a lot of big bumps. But this kind of shit really worked well for a guy like JYD, who wasn't really the best worker, but his gimmick and his strength and just his look and everything. This was JYD before he got really fucking into the coke, I think. I thought it was all right. It was pretty good. I gave it a 3 out of 5.
I'll take your word for it. Because like I said, I watched it again. I watched it last week in like 3 different parts. I pulled the WrestleMania 2 and watched it in 3 different parts of my own. And like before tonight, before the show tonight, I was like, I got to write down some shit so I know what I'm talking about. And like when I got to here, I was just like, I don't remember dick. Like everything else, I remembered some bits from. I'm like, okay, I remember that. Let me write that down. Let me write that. But when I got here, I'm just like, nothing.
There wasn't, like, I will say, there wasn't like a memorable move. Like nobody did anything that was that memorable in that way. But the way that the Funks worked and the chaos of the match and them just trying to do all the stalling and stuff, that's what made the match interesting, in my opinion. They didn't have to do like a lot of moves and stuff. They worked.
Oh, and I do want to mention this because like I didn't notice it until like I think the second match. But do you know who the not including the special guest ring announcer, but do you know who the ring announcer for New York was?
Oh, I don't know.
I was watching it and I was just like, I've heard this fucking voice before. And I couldn't put my fucking finger on it. Then the second match happened. And I was just like, I have heard, what is this fucking voice? It was goddamn Lee Marshall.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. I was like, oh, damn, it's fucking Lee Marshall. I didn't know he did work in the WWF. And now it's time for the big main event. The mainest of main events, I guess. Hulk Hogan defending the WWF Championship against King Kong Bundy in the debuting reinforced steel cage, the Big Blue Bars. Apparently, this was the first time this steel cage debuted. That I did not know.
Yeah.
Because apparently it's reinforced for Bundy and Hogan to collide. And And apparently the story going in this one is that Hulk had injured ribs.
Yep.
Which they did a pretty cool interview segment with Hogan backstage, like working out.
Yeah.
And the doctors, he's like, "Do you think Hogan should compete?" He's like, "No, I shouldn't." Hulk's like, "I'm gonna do it anyway." And he's like, "Okay."
That was with fucking Hillbilly Jim, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
such a weird
It's
pairing.
pretty much what the
Hillbilly Jim.
doctor was doing. He's like, Mean Gene's just like, "Do you think he should compete tonight?" He's like, "No." And Hogan's like, "I'm gonna do it." And the doctor's like, "Oh, okay." Then he did like that pull up with the chin thing, which I gotta admit, that was pretty fucking impressive. I'm not a workout guy,
No,
but like
yeah.
that'd be like some major flex shit. If I could do that, I'd be at the gym all the fucking time doing that.
I actually, and I don't even know if you know this, I started going to the gym back in September. And that is my goal. Is once I can do a chin up, I'll be satisfied. Just one. Just want to do one chin up.
No, I want to do the chin up with the fucking weight around my neck like Hogan did. Because I'd be like, "Hey, ladies, just with the fucking weight on and shit, man. Oh, God, if that doesn't get you laid at a gym, I don't know what will."
True. Fair point.
You know? But this, it was a typical Hogan match inside a cage.
Yeah.
And Bundy bleeding.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Hogan, you know, the formula of the 80s was Hogan just needs a dance part. It needs a fucking dragon to slay, essentially.
Yep.
And
A
Bundy was the
giant.
dragon to slay. Yeah.
Yep.
And Bundy just happened to be that dragon to slay. It was a decent match. I did like some of the cage work they did, although looking back on it, that cage makes no goddamn sense.
No.
You know, maybe throwing somebody into it makes sense, but like when you press a face up against it, like why? Like now when you press a face up against a cage, it's like, oh, the great, it's fucking, it's brutal. But like when you press a face up against that cage, it's like, okay, my head went through it.
I mean, I guess like, okay, why don't we go down, take you to like, I don't know, a street corner, and we'll just push your face into the fucking stop sign, like the pole that holds it. You don't think that's gonna hurt?
Those are little tiny holes.
Yeah, but like they could still push them against the bars.
But I'm saying like the holes in that fucking cage are like almost a fucking a foot and a half wide.
Yeah.
You can put your goddamn head through it.
But they could push them into the bars instead, or like fucking push your head through and start choking you with it.
I mean, I guess, but like I don't know.
It's not a great
really,
cage, though. I'll agree. It's not a great cage.
I never really got it. I mean, like as a kid, it's like steel cage, but like again, look, I forgot what show it was. Where like maybe it was WrestleMania 10. Through the eyes of a child, fucking like, oh my god, it looks awesome. Like steel cage. But like looking at it now as a reviewer and as a critique and shit like that, it's like that thing looks fucking stupid.
Yeah, it does. It looks like a toy set.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
So, it's a decent watch. You know, I'm not saying skip it. So 3 stars.
Yeah, it was a WWF cage match. Crowd was into Hogan, and he was firing on all cylinders. Hogan climbing the cage and tearing his shirt off, staring down at Bundy, who's yelling shit back at him, was like one of those fucking classic WrestleMania moments you'll never forget.
Cool. Yeah, that was pretty fucking gold looking.
Yeah. I don't like the way the WWF cage rules work, where you have to climb out or you can climb out or whatever. But in this case, it made sense here, and this is when Hulkamania was still great and believable. I gave it a 3 out of 5.
So that was WrestleMania 2. So overall, on a scale of 1 to 10, what do you give WrestleMania 2?
Surprisingly good. I gave it an 8 out of 10.
I went 6 because a lot of the matches were just, you know, subpar. And again, I know the 80s were a different time, but like a lot of the matches just did not belong on WrestleMania, in my opinion. You know, if they had a Raw at the time, a lot of these could have been Raw matches. But some of them were surprising. The Battle Royal was surprisingly decent. Like I said, you could have main evented fucking one of the nights with George Wells and Jake Roberts. I've been A-okay with that. You know? I really enjoyed that. I was like, man, I like the George Wells kid, man. Who is this? You know, they're like, oh, he's dead. I'm like, oh, okay. I don't know. He's probably still alive. I don't know. But yeah, other than that, I didn't hate that I picked this. I'll say that.
No.
You know, it was different though. It was good to watch something different for a change. You know, so and it's kind of like WrestleMania 11. Like I know fucking LT and Bam Bam like the fucking back of my hand. You know, but like the rest of it, I couldn't name another match on that fucking card. I don't think.
Really?
Oh yeah, I can. Yeah, I can. Bundy and Taker. Yeah, I can.
Oh, Brett and fucking Backlund.
They're on the card.
Yeah.
Oh,
Michaels
yeah.
and
Oh yeah, that's when like Backlund like
Yeah.
And Piper's
Yeah.
like, yeah, he said he quit.
Yeah.
Like, wait, what?
Michaels and Diesel.
Oh yeah, that's where he takes that great jackknife.
I think Razor and Jeff Jarrett have a match on that show as well. The opening is
that'd be kind of cool if we get to do WrestleMania 11. We do the fucking 2 WrestleManias that Bundy was at.
yeah. Well, the reason why I picked WrestleMania 11, and I never told you, WrestleMania 2, if you consider the fact that it was held in 3 different events, each single event were probably the worst WrestleManias attended of all time. But if you look at it as in total, it's not. It's like 4th, I think. But WrestleMania 11 is the one least attended after it. I think it had less attendance than WrestleMania 2 overall. That's why I chose WrestleMania.
What was your other pick? 7. That's what you wanted.
7. 7 was even worse, I think, than 11. Or vice versa.
I don't think I could sit through 7. I don't think I can.
Yeah.
Like again, I only know 2 matches from that fucking card, and that's Hogan and Slaughter and Jake and Model.
Yeah, I've watched WrestleMania 11 a lot.
I could probably only sit through fucking 11 just because it'd be like, oh fuck, I gotta sit through this. But I get fucking LT and Bam Bam at the end.
I watched WrestleMania 11 a lot because I bought that box set that had like 11 to 15 and then 16 to fucking 20 or whatever the fuck. So I've watched a lot of WrestleMania 11, and I was like peak fandom when I got that box set too. So those like a couple of those WrestleManias I watched like nonstop.
God, if I have to watch, there's one WrestleMania that I swear to God, if I have to watch one more time, and that's WrestleMania 14. If I ever have to watch that fucking show again, I'm gonna kill someone.
Really?
I've watched it so many fucking times. It's not because it's bad. It's just because I've watched it so many fucking times.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
All right, so that was our review of WrestleMania 2. We're not going to do an after game this week. We're gonna do Shelby's apparently Shelby's fact of the week. So what's your
Chubbs presents fact of the week?
Okay, calm down.
All right, so Russ Francis, the 49ers tight end that you couldn't remember the name of in the Battle Royal, he worked in the AWA in the 70s, did a little bit. He had a little wrestling career, but he was also the son of promoter Ed Francis, who owned 50th State Big Time Wrestling territory, which eventually he sold to High Chief Peter Maivia. In other words, the Hawaii territory. Hawaii.
Oh shit! I think I just saw the episode of Young Rock on that.
Really?
Where High Chief Peter Maivia like opened up a wrestling company in Hawaii.
Yeah, he actually bought the company from Ed Francis, which was Russ Francis' dad.
They didn't mention any of that shit.
Yeah, I've heard that like some of the Young Rock stuff is kind of suspect, which is funny, being that he fucking is he's been part of the production of that show, but yeah, that's why I said like it has relative to Nick was talking about Roman Reigns. I'm like, oh, fact of the week kind of has to do with the Anoa'i family. So.
Yeah, like they kind of just was just like, oh, Peter Maivia just wants to start a wrestling company and do this and that with him. They're like, okay, let's do it, and that's pretty much how it happened. it was none of that shit that you just said.
Yeah,
there was no Russ Francis in that episode.
No.
Yeah. Oh,
nobody would know him anyway. But yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, and now we're gonna move. Do you have your this day in wrestling history?
No, I don't. I forgot I was doing that.
God damn it, Nick! You suck.
Yeah, Nick.
Shelby. I don't know. Whatever. All you white people look the same. I don't know.
Listen, I had to take care of fact of the week. You're asking me to do way too many things.
Dude, this is the two-way wrestling pod fucking show.
Yeah.
I forgot the name
say that again.
Fucking no one cares. No one's listening.
That's true.
Yeah. So let's move on to our vintage pick of the week, which is usually a show, a match, promo, something we think you should seek out and watch. And Shelby's gonna be pissed at mine this week. But Shelby, go ahead. What's your vintage pick of the week?
Madison Square Garden, June 27th, 1977. George the Animal Steel versus Tony Garea.
Tony Garea.
Tony Garea.
And mine is not really that vintage. It happened, well, at the time of this recording, it happened yesterday.
You gave me shit for doing one that was like 3 weeks old once.
Because I watched this and I was just fucking like amazed. You would fucking hate this match, but I highly suggest giving it a chance, please. But Kenny Omega versus El Hero del Vicino.
I heard people were like, who? Because they were like, oh, this is supposed to be. Tony Khan was selling it as a dream match, and everybody that like fucking saw it on Twitter was like, who?
Yeah, he wrestles and he's the AAA Mega Champion. El Hero del
I heard
Vicino.
of all the people who do the flips, he does the best flips. I legitimately heard exactly that.
Yeah, like my buddy Justice, who does indie shows and in North Carolina and everything. He was always singing his praises to me. He's like, you got to check out El Hero del Vicino. And I always tell him like, yeah, I'll check him out, and I fucking either blow it off or forget, one of the two, maybe both. So when I heard about this match, I told him, I was like, hey, your boy, he's gonna be on Dynamite. He's like, oh, I know. He was ready for it. He was like, oh, I know. And I'm like, okay. So then I heard some of the rumblings on Facebook, and I was like, all right, I got to watch this fucking match. So once I saw a springboard off the second rope, springboard 630 through a table, I was just like, all right, I definitely got to see this fucking match.
I mean, that does sound incredible.
Yeah, dude,
not my style of wrestling, but that does sound incredible.
You got to see it. It's actually really good. But yeah, it came on fucking yesterday at the time of this recording. But if you guys haven't seen it, check out Omega versus El Hero del Vicino from Dynamite if you can find it. Because I tried looking for just the fucking match and nobody had it uploaded. I guess Tony Khan is just like, no one's watching it. I had to go somewhere else and watch it, but I found it and it's good. I'm telling you, at least give it a chance. But you won't. But whatever.
Well, I want to see that spot. I might see if I can find that.
Yeah,
spot.
Look at the spot. Like it's incredible. Because that's what got me to go actually look at it. Because at first they were just like, "Oh, it was a great match," and I was just like, "Yeah, I should watch that match." And then like I saw that video of the spot, and I was like, "All right, I got to see this fucking match."
Why were there ring ropes red, white, and blue?
I don't know.
Huh? That's odd because they're always black.
Yeah. Huh. Maybe because Wednesday. This week was. There's the bell.
I was gonna say, if you don't know.
There's the bell, so we know what that means. That signifies the end of the Three-Way Dance Wrestling Podcast. Nick should be joining us back next week. We could be reviewing WrestleMania 11, but fuck, who knows? We should have some kind of retro pay-per-view review next week because that's going to be our buffer between that and WrestleMania, the actual WrestleMania. So yeah, we'll confer with Nick because apparently Nick runs our world now.
Yeah, it's no longer me apparently.
I know, right? Yeah, you get your own little segments and everything now that you don't even prepare for.
Oh shit! I got to start preparing.
You're like, oh, I want to do a segment on the show, and I'm like, all right, here you go, and you're like, oh, I didn't do it.
Need to stop answering my text when I've had a few drinks.
You're like, okay, I want to do this day in history on the podcast. And I'm like, sure, do it. You're like, okay. I'm like, did you do that thing? You're like, what then? I'm like, the fucking thing for the podcast you said you were going to do? What then? God damn it.
Well, when you mentioned it, I did remember it, but I was like, oh yeah, I did say I was going to do that shit.
Yeah. Yeah. So next week, we'll have the debut of this day in wrestling history, hopefully. So yeah, that'll do it for me and Shubs here. Hopefully next week Nick will join us and we'll have some type of pay-per-view review or something. Maybe next week will be our first review of The Last of Us episode 1. Who knows? So until next time, guys, I'm the ArtistVersion1, and for Shubs, be breezy.